Sup bros, we have a urban commuter style electric bike here called the Mokwheel Tarmac. They say we can do up to 60 miles of range. It's got a couple unique features on it, including a removable HD display and integrated lights front and rear. MSRP is $2,099 on sale for quite a bit off that in the link below this video. Should have a little coupon code down there to help save you some money if you decide to buy this bike. But don't buy the Mokwheel Tarmac just yet. We got to review this thing and see what it's made of. And here's what it looks like when you get out of the box. And we're rolling on relatively tall 29 by 2.35 inch wide tires. The tires are CST Preston. And here's what the tread pattern looks like. These relatively tall 29 inch wheels are really good for rolling over imperfections in the road. Makes your ride feel smooth. And we have a through axle, which is the best kind of axle to have on an e-bike. The safest anyway. And the brake rotors are 180 millimeters. Let's chop this thing up. So through axle up front, it's the best kind. And let's lighten this bike up by popping the battery. Got a color matched plate here. So through axle. The through axle goes through the hub and we have a closed dropout on bottom. This is basically gonna help prevent the wheel from ever falling off while you're riding it. Definitely don't want that to happen. And gives you a little better control over the front wheel. And it also helps prevent the front brake from becoming misaligned under hard braking. Looks like we're running Tektro hydraulic brakes, which is great. And it's got a magnesium alloy fork, 80 millimeters of travel. The use of magnesium alloy increases durability and reduces weight. And it is an air fork, so we can adjust the amount of air in the chamber. That allows you to dial the suspension into your weight. And we also have clicks for adjustment. And as mentioned, it does have an integrated light on front, as well as integrated lights on the rear and an integrated light on the rear rack. Handlebars have a slight rise and an adjustable height stem, so you can raise and lower the height of your handlebars. Mokwheel branded ergonomic grips. They've got this little raise bubble they put on there. Throttle on the left controls 8 gears on the Shimano shifter with a bell on the right. Tektro hydraulic brake levers. So I'm gonna raise them up just a bit to make the ride more comfortable. So check this out. This is where the display goes and it is removable. So let's get it out. They give you all the tools, your manual, gift card. Here's what we're looking for. So it is an HD removable display. Pretty cool feature. I guess you could just pop this thing off. Makes your bike kind of like unusable if somebody tries to steal it. Probably a lot of use cases for this. So let's put it on there. All right, looks like it goes this way. So the whole thing just kind of goes like this and clicks on. And then if you want to remove it, basically on the bottom, you just pinch these things together. The whole thing will just come off. You can bring it in to the store with you, wherever you're going, work, whatever. Commuter bike. And it is a commuter bike, so it's nice to see that they actually give us some decent pedals since we're actually going to be using these. They are metal. There's a little bit of cleats to help your shoe grip. Got the quick release on the seat post, which is pretty long. I have it on max, and the seat is pretty wide. Seems like it'll be comfy. And the geared hub motor on the rear is a 750 watts continuous power motor rated for 920 watts of peak power. Mokwheel branded. And feeding that motor is a 48 volt battery, 48 volt, 15 amp hours with 721 watt hours of energy. So in general, this is definitely more on the electric bicycle side of things, not so much a motorcycle. So it looks like the battery clocks in at 8.2 pounds, not bad. Let's see how much the bike weighs. So I'll just subtract my weight of 194.2, and then I'll stand on the scale and pick the whole bike up, which actually isn't too bad. 251.4. So only 59 pounds for the bike, plus about 8.2 for the battery. So 67.2 pounds for everything, according to my scale. It's got lightweight plastic fenders. Just gotta drop that battery in there. Which I forgot to tell you, the charger, Mokwheel branded, have a 15 amp hour battery pack charging at a rate of 3 amps. Will take the charge 5 hours from empty to full. Powered up, pressing the power button. Mokwheel. So it is an HD display. It actually looks pretty darn crisp. We have our battery readout here on the top. Miles per hour, pedal assist modes, which you can change all that right here. Goes up to 5, and there is a torque sensor and cadence sensor. It looks like we're on eco mode. And we get turns. signals. So check that out. On the rear, we have a signal up here on the top of the rack, as well as down here on the actual frame as well. So from a distance, those signals are actually visible. You can turn on the headlights, all the lights, by holding the plus button. That'll turn on the integrated light up here on the front of the bike, which also activates the rear lights. So we get, you know, the light on top as well as down on the frame. Here's what the other signal's looking like. When I grab the brake light, it lights up a little brighter. Same goes for the light up on top too. Grabbing the brake light makes the whole thing illuminate. So actually looking like a pretty sweet commuter style electric bike. Let's hop on. So as you likely know, I'm 6'5", inseam 34. I have the seat on the maximum height. Let's just see what this thing's like to get on. Loving the feel of the tall wheels. Yeah, so that seat comes up high. This bike feels like it could fit somebody of my height at 6'5", with the seat on max height. Handlebars raised up a bit. This is actually going to feel like an electric bicycle ride as compared to a lot of the electric motorcycles I end up riding. Front air shock is feeling good. That's a nice solid 80 millimeters of travel. No suspension on the rear helps keep the weight down and also helps keep your pedal strokes more efficient for actually putting power into the wheels and propelling yourself forward. Let me drop the seat down to minimum height and show you what I look like. Swinging a leg on over this. So the seat on minimum height, here's what my pedal stroke would look like on this bike. In general, I'd have to say this is a kind of more substantial, larger commuter style electric bike compared to some of the stuff I see on the channel. And you know, it feels pretty light actually, which is awesome. Just kind of pretty easily pick the whole thing up, even with the battery on. A lot of the e-bikes I review, I don't even want to pick up with the battery off. Let's try the pedal assist here. See if we can get a new skid mark. Oh yeah, nice and light and manageable. Let's roll. Oh wait, one last thing. Since we're actually going to use them, I want to show you guys the 8 Shimano gears on the cassette. They are Hyperglide, and it's got a Shimano Altus derailleur with a pretty sizable chain ring up front. I should probably also point out the mounting points for a water bottle right there on the frame, as well as you have a place to put a front rack with mounts on the side. And I'm digging the green color, but there are other color options linked below the video in the description box if you want to check it out. But let's go for a ride. All right, dudes, let's check out the Mokwheel Tarmac for a rip. So of course we're gonna check our official range per use. Fire this thing up. We are on a full charge. Let's roll. So here's what the lights look like in the elevator, holding down the plus button. One thing I would like to note about this integrated light is it does not rotate with the handlebars. It just kind of points straight, and we do get the lights and the brake light on the back, as well as turn signals. So let's give it a go on the 20% grade, see how it does on its own. Feels good to be hopping aboard a bike that actually fits me. We'll put it on pedal assist 5 and do throttle only, just see what it can do on its own. No pedaling, and it's pulling us up to 20% grade, so we get almost 1,000 watts of peak power, and it's doing great without pedaling at all. Obviously I could pedal and help it. So in general, the taller 29-inch wheels, they don't have quite as much torque for climbing hills and stuff as compared to a shorter wheel, but the real benefit of that taller wheel is you get a much smoother ride, like riding over imperfections like that bump in the road, like so much smoother on big wheels. So let's feel out this thing in its stock form. We have it on pedal assist 1. I'm gonna throw it on 0 to see if the throttle works. So no pedal assist at all when you're on 0. You know, this thing in general rides a lot more like an electric bicycle as compared to an electric motorcycle. You know, the power level on this thing, it's not giving me any power at all, and I can actually pedal it and ride it just cruising along on gear 4 here, about 8 miles an hour. And we do get 8 gears on the rear cassette. So let's try pedal assist 1. We have the torque sensor. So it is a torque sensor and cadence sensor system. Let's feel it out here. So pedal assist 1, it feels very eager to help me. Like I really don't have to put much power into the pedals on my own, and it'll get me moving along pretty easily here. I am noticing this bike is basically completely silent. Tires make no noise. Motor is not making any noise yet that I can hear. And the riding position on this thing is actually really comfortable for a taller rider because the handlebars come up nice and tall, seat comes up nice and tall. Let's try pedal assist 2. So with the torque sensor, it gives you power in proportion to how hard you're pressing on the pedals, unlike the cadence sensor system. I'm on gear number 6. We have the little bell right here. Oh, don't put your finger on it there when you use it. So pedal assist 2 feels great. It'll, you know, Feels pretty natural on gear 6 here, going about 14 miles an hour, riding like a bicycle. What is that banging around though? It's driving me crazy. I think it's the fenders. So from a stop, let's just press the throttle on pedal assist 3. So that gives you a pretty healthy amount of juice. Feels about mid 900s of watts. Doesn't tell you an actual wattage number on there. Let's see what the throttle will do on just pedal assist 3. So I feel a cut power right at 20, which is how class 3 and class 2 electric bikes should work. Let's see if we can pedal beyond 20 with pedal assist 3. So shift on to gear number 7 and gear number 8 now. It's nice that this bike does have 8 gears instead of, a lot of times bikes will run 7 gears. These big wheels going around the corner feel nice, man. All right, so let's try pedal assist 4. And real quick, I just want to try and pop this display off while we're riding and see what happens. So, oh, almost dropped it. So yeah, that'll cut your power real quick. So it is kind of cool that Mokwheel is doing this removable display. You know, there's probably a lot of different use cases you could probably come up with for this. You know, maybe you're parking your bike, you don't want somebody to steal it. This would certainly make it less desirable if it didn't have a display. Although ultimately you can't prevent theft, you can only deter theft. Let's turn it back on. And it is called the Mokwheel Tarmac. Tarmac is a word that would mean pavement, but you could do a little bit of trail riding on this thing. The big, tall 29-inch wheels of these meaty tires, it'll help you roll over imperfections on the road. Almost hit that beer bottle, bro. I like that the front fork is an air fork, so you can adjust the amount of pressure in that, easily dial into your riding preferences and your weight and all that. Mostly, you know, keep this thing on the tarmac though. So you have to actually pedal to go faster than 20, but this thing is happy to go faster than 20 once you pedal. Let's go ahead and give this a 0 to 20 acceleration. I weigh 200 pounds, throttle only, ready, go. 10, 15, and pretty much 20. Throttle will cut you off exactly at 20. So I mean, you know, it's a gentle, smooth, accelerating electric bicycle. And that rattling is driving me crazy. I think it's the front fender somehow. I must have not tightened something down all the way. What? I thought you was a professional, tail heavy. What the heck? I don't know what the heck that is. Kickstand maybe? That's driving me crazy, dude. What is that rattling? I'm sure it's something minor. You know, man, I think it might be this battery tray. I don't know if I put it on there right. Let's see if that helps. All right, dudes, let's get a top speed run on this thing with a little bit of tailwind. We'll do throttle and then pass the 7 Series here. Pedaling. What's this dude doing next to me? Going 26. Not really pedaling too hard, but definitely giving it a bit of an effort because we do have a torque sensor, so it gives you power in proportion to how hard you press. It feels real smooth and pretty much topping out right around 28, 29. So yeah, you might be able to hit 30 if you're Lance Armstrong in it, but it feels super smooth and ripping past all the non-motorized bikes, obviously. Oh, what is this guy doing in the bike lane? So on the Mokwheel bikes, they tend to do these little bubble grip things. Gives you a little bit different feel. Look at that Waymo. What do they got on the side of that Waymo? Gives you a little bit different feel. It's kind of cool. I don't dislike it. I don't, you know, it's fine. It's just different. Gives you a little extra padding on your palm. I've already got padding on my palm though. So let's talk about the torque sensor on the Mokwheel Tarmac. I have it on pedal assist 5. If I pedal just very lightly, it's, you know, really eager to give me power, as it, you know, should be for pedal assist 5. But if I press, you know, just a little bit harder, I feel like, you know, it's just not the most polished, refined torque sensor on the Mokwheel bikes. Like, it is a torque sensor and it gives you power in proportion to how hard you press on the pedals. You know, I feel like there are some other brands, other e-bikes I've tried that have a little bit more precise torque sensor. If we bump it down to, let's say, pedal assist 2 here, yeah, I mean, it gives us less power in proportion to how hard we press on the pedals. If I really press, it doesn't give me much power, kind of cuts me off at like 15. Just, you know, in general, you know, there's better torque sensors I've tried on other budget e-bikes. So these relatively thick 29-inch tires with a fairly knobby-ish kind of tread pattern, they are You know, they're good for riding out here on like a little bit sandy bike path. Gives you pretty good confidence riding on an imperfect surface. Let's try and see what happens if we ride it on the sand. They're really not wide enough to be riding on sand, but that actually went up that hill better than expected in the loose sand. Now riding off the tarmac, you're gonna want to be standing off the seat because there's no rear suspension on this bike, but that's what your legs are for, bro. That is your suspension. So we've already been over this. This is a tarmac bike, not a sand bike, but let's give it a rip on the sand, see. We can make it through a short stretch there. The tires just aren't wide enough. They're running, I have 50 PSI on the front, 40 on the rear. The reason I'm running higher on the front is because we have suspension on the front and running a bit lower on the back because it's hardtail. Oh, we about crashed. So the rattling, I'm pretty sure is the battery tray, because if I take my feet and kind of hold it up, it doesn't rattle anymore at all. But when I let off, you can hear it rattle a bit. I'm not exactly sure how to get that rattle out of there, but I'm sure it can be done. Yeah, man, when you have this thing on pedal assist 5, it just makes you go fast. So if that's what you're looking for, you know, a torque sensor that's gonna just make you rip on pedal assist 5, this one will certainly do that. So let's go ahead and hit the 12% California incline, 85-foot climb, 12% grade. The bike is balanced and stable, riding no hands. So rolling into the spiral section here, we'll do throttle only on pedal assist 5. We can pull us up, no problem, doing about 8 miles an hour. We could obviously pedal a little bit to help it out, but it's not necessary. It's pulling us up, and we'll go ahead and throw the back tire against the wall here of the main portion of the California incline and full throttle it, and let's just see how it'll do on its own, pulling us up about 5-6 miles an hour, 9. I'm not gonna pedal. We'll just see if the controller overheats or, you know, anything weird happens, but pulling about 14.7 miles an hour. And as I always mention, this is actually pretty darn steep hill. I see a lot of, you know, pedal cyclists just give up, just push your bike up this hill. It's relatively taxing on the body to pedal up this thing, but it's nice having a little motor assistance here, peaking, you know, almost 1,000 watts, pulling us about 18 miles an hour with these 29ers riding smooth. So going down the California decline will give us an opportunity to utilize these Tektro hydraulic brakes. This thing feels good riding fast on these big, tall wheels, and the Tektro hydraulics give you a lot of confidence stopping these name brand hydraulic brakes. Yeah. They just feel good, man. These are some good budget-friendly bike brakes. So let's go ahead and give the brakes a test from about 20 miles an hour. Come to a stop. Full stop. Yeah, man. These are good brakes. Name brand Tektros. Rotors are sufficient size. That's all you need, dude. All right, dudes. We're about to head on home, take the final range. I'll share my final thoughts along the way. So current range right now, I can't really tell. Looks like it's pretty full. It's out of 10 bars. It looks pretty full, which makes sense. You know, it's a relatively lighter commuter style electric bike, and it actually encourages you to pedal it. So I've kind of been pedaling this one a bit, which will obviously help extend your range and get you a little exercise. How about that? So list price on this one, MSRP is $2,099, on sale for $16.99 in the link below this video in the description box. So if you do want to buy this bike, if you click on that link before you buy it, it would help support my reviews here on Tail Happy TV and also get you the best price. There should be a little coupon code down there for you too. So final thoughts on this thing, man. You know, it just rides like a pretty smooth commuter style electric bike. I love the tall 29-inch wheels, the way they roll. They just kind of really even out all of the imperfections in the road. And the tires, you know, they're not like 4 inches wide fat tires, so they're a little bit more nimble and, well, twitchy wouldn't be the right word, but you can kind of maneuver this thing a lot easier than a fat tire e-bike. Torque sensor, it does have a torque sensor and cadence sensor. It says, you know, not the most polished torque sensor I've ever tried, but it does have a torque sensor. So you get that power in proportion to how hard you're pressing on the pedals and not just like a completely dumb cadence sensor that doesn't measure how hard you're pressing on the pedals at all. And it's pretty cool that it does have this removable screen, so you know, you could pop the thing off, bring it inside places with you so nobody can steal your screen, and makes your e-bike, in theory, less stealable. Power that thing back on. And another thing that I really like about this bike is it fits me well. So it's got this adjustable stem here. I can raise it up. The seat comes up nice and high, and I can actually like stretch my legs out and get a proper pedal stroke on this thing, which is awesome. So I'm not all scrunched like I am on a lot of the smaller e-bikes I review. And it's got 8 gears, which is cool, more than, you know, the typical 7, and then that air fork on front that you can adjust to your weight and riding preferences. So, you know, it's pretty smooth for what it is. There's some music jamming back there. A little dancing going on here today. Don't see this every day in LA. It's not that uncommon though. This battery tray thing though would be my one complaint on this bike. I should point out I've been absolutely cooking all the way home because, I mean, this bike just likes to go fast. These tall wheels, they like to roll fast. All right, dude, just rolling into the neighborhood. Just about to cross over 17 miles. Hour, 17 minutes ride time. Average speed 13.16. And so here we are on the range. 8 bars? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 10 bars is showing remaining on the battery. Probably slightly optimistic. I would say that we only burned through 20% of the battery. But as mentioned, you know, this is kind of more of an electric bicycle. It did encourage me to actually pedal it, and the weight isn't, you know, ridiculous. So you are going to get better range on your battery for those two factors. But I think they said the claimed range is in the ballpark of 60 miles. I could definitely see you doing that if you're not going crazy on the throttle and you actually help it. So pretty sweet little commuter style electric bike. If you do want to grab one, use that link below the video. Click on that link, buy it through that link. It would give you the best price and also help support my reviews on Tailhappy TV. And I greatly appreciate your support. However, if this is not the kind of electric bicycle you're looking for, you should probably watch this video right here, bro. I'll catch you over there.